It's an honor to be here, an honor to be able to present in front of this audience here today. I'm Malabika Ghosh. I work as an occupational therapist at the Lancashire Teaching Hospitals, Preston in the UK. And the study that I'm going to present to you today is something that we did within the motor neuron disease team that I'm a part of. My post is very, is funded by the MNDA, and we are grateful for the help and the support we receive from the MNDA at every step. The topic today is looking beyond the drug and exploring the experiences of our MND patients who were attending a drug trial at the Royal Preston Hospital. As we know, attending a drug trial is common practice for patients who have a diagnosis of long-term conditions. So we chose a group of patients with the diagnosis of MND who were attending a drug trial at the hospital as part of this study. These patients had been attending the drug trial for almost a year on a fortnightly basis. And whilst they were attending the drug trial, they would meet the MND team for their day-to-day evolving needs, sometimes quite informally, almost like a drop-in, and sometimes a little more formally. And we decided at the end of the year, when the drug trial was almost coming to an end, to look at the feedback these patients had about the service or the experience they had with the MND team whilst attending the drug trial. And this is what the study is all about. So the reason we decided to do this study was because as the trial was coming to an end, our patients started expressing some concern at the loss of their opportunity to meet the clinical MND team on a regular basis. They had almost come to enjoy that interaction and look forward to that interaction with the team. And as this trial was coming to an end, they started expressing concerns that they wouldn't be able to meet us as frequently. Now, bearing in mind, as part of our normal clinical practice, we would follow up our patients at least once in 3 months and as frequently as possible, depending on what they need. We also know that MND patients have social isolation and psychosocial morbidity, and this is commonly present and very well reported by a paper published earlier this year by Hagina et al. And this is what we saw in our particular study as well. Ten patients were given a questionnaire as part of our service evaluation to look at their feedback about attending the drug trial and the service they got from the MND team. Out of the 10, 6 patients and their carers responded to us. The questionnaire that was used to record their feedback about their experience of meeting as a group was then used to analyze the results. We used qualitative analysis to analyze the results of the questionnaire that the patients sent. And it's interesting to note that prior to even attending the drug trial, 5 out of the 6 patients had declined any formal support group or day therapy provision by the MND team. So we were really interested in finding what went well, what did they find useful, what did they not find useful, and how did they perceive we could meet their ongoing needs in the future. Our results demonstrated that patients felt that attendance at drug trial was important more because of the contact this allowed with other patients with a similar diagnosis. They perceived that this was much, much more important even than the drug that they were coming to the trial for. One of our patients said, "It has never been about the drug because I don't think I have ever thought about that from day one, whether I'm on it or not. It was just about being in contact with different people, seeing people with the same condition, getting it off your chest, just having a laugh. So just that social side. I don't know, it just gives you that bit more confidence. We found that the patients considered this as an opportunity to build social relationships. And the relationships they built during this time helped them share their personal stories and also improve their confidence. One of our patients said, I think to see the same person and people over and over again, the same team, by which they mean the MND team, on a regular basis, and to offload everything that is happening to you, to support other people and to let them support you. Again, just knowing that the safety net is there. They found that really useful. And a lot of our patients said that this is actually what drew them to continuing to attend the drug trial, although some of them had initial apprehensions about coming to a drug trial which used a group setting because they weren't sure what to expect from the situation. Some of the patients felt that the feelings of isolation and their inability to share their fears with anyone were actually counteracted by attending the drug trial. A spouse said to us, he's happiest when he leaves here, and he's more positive. So just to finish this, which means as the drug trial was coming to an end, and this whole process they felt was going to come to an end, so just to finish would be detrimental to him psychologically, she said. I think more than anything, coming to the trial has kind of forced the fact that you can talk about it, you can deal with it, and kind of force it to a head, rather than just let people drift on their own. The patients felt that attending drug trial improved their health behaviors as well as gave them a sense of better control over their condition. One of them said, think you get to know the disease better because you're looking at it more often. It gives you more confidence. They said you can look at it from not just your perspective but other people's perspectives as well. If you go every 2 weeks, bearing in mind they were coming to attend the trial fortnightly, you start to realize that things aren't steamrolling and you have much more of a control over what you're doing. So they really felt the positive state of being in control of their situation, in spite of knowing that this was a progressive condition and the inevitable change that brought with it would still remain. Some of our patients said that attending the trial in this group setting helped them accept their condition better. Meeting the same people on a regular basis, despite being aware of the change of the terminal progressive illness, helped them understand and accept their condition. One of our patients actually said, obviously I've met patient A and C, and it helped me see the variations of the disease, which is actually good for me. Seeing how A is coping with lack of speech is good for me, because obviously my speech is affected and I dreaded losing the ability to talk. Now, I'm not as focused on that. Another patient said that having the personal relationship with nurses and doctors has made a big difference to what I perceived of my condition. All our patients said that they felt that attending the drug trial in a group setting was a life-changing experience for them. They said it was a positive experience. Our patient said, I think you've got to know P. Before he came here, he hadn't even looked on the internet about the condition. He did not want to talk about it. He didn't want to join a group. In a way, he was shutting it out. He was getting on with it, and he still coped, but there was a side to him that I could see very definitely that there was no hope. Attending the trial has made a big difference, I think, a really big difference. In summary, through our study, we found that research through drug trials is important, but it is important that we consider the collateral benefits for patients with MND. This particular research study was done when patients were attending the trial in a group setting, And I think the group setting is a powerful setting for gaining the kind of insights and perspectives that we've seen and our patients have so positively recounted in this particular study. The drug trial setting in a group setting, therefore, should be considered as an opportunity bigger than just a drug providing session. So following the results of this particular study, we decided, the Preston MND Care and Research team decided to set up a group drop-in clinic to meet the ongoing needs of the patients. This clinic has been running for the last 3 months now. At any time, we have 12 to 14 participants. They just choose to come in, and each one of them has recounted how useful and how beneficial just having the opportunity to come talk to people, listen to other patients, and even have their medical and other needs met informally, draws them to attend these clinics. And this has definitely been a service expansion opportunity for our team based at Preston, UK. That's our patients and their carers as part of the, attending the MND Care Centre. We took this picture when we arranged our Ice Bucket Challenge. So you can see buckets in front. We had a great time, and we raised a lot of money. We'd like to thank all our patients and carers who participated in the study. We'd like to thank all our staff who helped us with the study. And we'd also like to thank the MND Association for the financial support and assistance they continue to provide us on an ongoing basis. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Malabika, for that presentation. Can we have questions, please?
I'm Amber Ward from North Carolina in the U.S.
Hello.
Is the group drop-in separate from their clinic visit, or in addition, or instead of their regular scheduled clinic visit?
It is in addition to the regular clinic visit, because we realized we couldn't do without the clinic, because that was a very formal way of addressing the needs of the patients, their medical, respiratory, as cognitive and other needs. However, this particular clinic was an informal way of meeting their psychosocial needs, and I think the physical and the psychosocial needs go hand in hand. And it's when we recognized that this was valuable, from the patient's perspectives, we thought, let's put the patient at the center of our care and let's design this. And we must say we've had a really, really good response. Every month, we've had more and more patients drop in. So we don't, we don't necessarily go out to our patients to say, this is what we are doing. We just mention it to them casually when they come to us in their drop-in clinics or when we go to our hospice clinics. And we let them decide whether they choose to come to a setting like this. Because like I said in the beginning of my study, not everybody with a diagnosis of MND wants to attend a group setting. So they have to be comfortable with attending. But once they attend, the response we've got, the kind of patients, the patients say there's no looking back, really. So it is in addition to what we normally do.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My question is, have you looked at the outcome, whether the drop-in session into the clinic will affect the result of the placebo, or actually affect the overall outcome of the trial? Because you're giving the emotional support.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got to that stage yet. The trial, the data collation from the trial is still, it's still ongoing. What we were interested in looking at was what is it that drew patients to the trial? And yes, there is the drug element, and it provides hope. It provides the possibility of a delay in death, a remission from symptoms. better quality of life. So that is all there as part of attending the drug trial. But we realized there was a completely different facet to these patients attending the drug trial, and we chose to respond to that particular need. I think it would be really interesting to look at how this actually helped or had any impact at all on the drug trial, and that's in the offing. That's part of the other study we are considering in the future.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
One last question. Anywhere? Yep, in the middle.
Hello, I'm Karen Pearce from MND Association for England, Wales and Northern Ireland. I'm just wondering if you've also looked at the impact on the carers of the people with MND who have been attending the support meetings.
Well, the carers decided that they wanted to come to the support meeting. We initially thought that we'd do this for the patients, but the carers actually expressed a desire to come. And some of our patients come with their carers, and they both find it quite empowering for them, to attend, because when the carer of one patient shares their personal story with that of the other, they always teach somebody. For example, in one of the recent groups that we conducted, we had a 32-year-old patient who was diagnosed a week back with MND, and he came to this group, and there was this patient who had been diagnosed 7 years ago, and as he and his wife walked into the room, you could see how stressed they were. They were really tensed, really, pale-faced, and they walked in expecting it's going to be a clinical session where they're going to talk about this is what MND does, this is how we deal with it. But what we actually allowed was to have the other patients talk to him about how it's been 7 years down the line, how he's still walking, the personal positive stories that they shared. They also shared about how his hands had become gradually weaker. But what the patient said when he left was, I had thought when I first came into this group that I'm going to be dead in 2 years, but I've now seen another patient who's survived this for 7 years, and had I not come to this, I would never have realized it. So I think both the carer and the patients really benefit from this kind of a group setting.
Thanks very much. Please join with me in thanking Malabika.